This is Future Minor. So there's this pastor that goes by the name of Will Duffy who's conducting this experiment that he's calling the final experiment that's supposed to once and for all determine the shape of the earth. So this pastor, he seems to me like a globe earther. I wonder if he's a skeptic, but to me it seems like he has dug his heels in the globe earth and he is thinking that science has his back and is true, and he's just reluctant to question the scientific narrative of the heliocentric deception. So with this pastor, he's putting up the money to send a team down to Antarctica made up of flat earthers and globe earthers, and he wants to prove that the earth is either flat or globe once and for all. And so the ones who have decided to show up for this experiment so far are only 2 flat earthers, and there's about 7 globe earthers. So DITRH was offered, and it sounds like he rejected his offer. So it sounds like Witsit Gets It has agreed to go, and also this channel named Kingdom and Context, that's another flat earth channel that has decided to go, from what I understand. But people are wondering who else would be a good fit to go. So some of the popular names floating around right now are Eric Dubay, Nathan Oakley, Eddie Bravo, Dean Odell, Mark Sargent, and Sean Hibbler. Jainism is undecided from what I understand as of right now. So some of these flat earthers are not gonna go, and they don't want to go, and the reason why I believe is because it's kind of sketchy, this whole thing. First of all, you never know what risk you're putting yourself in by going because of this Antarctic treaty. Now, there's a lot of paperwork and red tape that you have to get through to go, and I guess this pastor has gotten pretty far in this process and has filled out all the necessary paperwork so far. So it looks like he's well on his way to have this actually happen and take place on December 14th. And so the thing that they're looking for is to see if the sun is going to stay in the sky for 24 hours down there, kind of like how it does on the North Pole. So on the North Pole on a flat earth, you would expect the sun to do kind of a circle and stay in the sky. But on the South Pole, or Antarctica, should we say, basically that's the outer ring of the flat earth. So you wouldn't expect a sun to stay in the sky for 24 hours, but on a globe earth, you would. So that's what they're trying to determine, is if the sun is visible for 24 hours or not in Antarctica. And if it goes dark and the sun goes away, that means the earth is flat. And if the sun stays in the sky visible the whole time for 24 hours, that means it's a globe, is what they're saying. And even flat earthers have agreed that this would determine the shape of the earth. I heard that Jainism and Witsit have pretty much agreed that this experiment would conclude and be conclusive about if the shape of the earth is flat or round. And so I'm not so sure if I'm going to agree for sure, because look, here's the thing. If these people go down there, what if they get intercepted by the authorities of the Antarctic Treaty, and they're told that no matter what you see, that you're going to go back and say that you saw the 24-hour sun? Kind of like how, when we saw that moon landing footage, the astronauts looked pretty depressed, and it almost looked like they're being told what to say. So what if that happens, where they get intercepted and they're told what to say, and they come back with a bogus report? So what are we supposed to just believe whatever they're saying? So we would like proof, right? So that's the thing. So if they come back without proof, then we'll know something was up, because so far the proof has been compromised. So people have requested proof of the 24-hour sun from Antarctic surveillance cameras, and every time they have obtained these recordings, there's edits in them. There's never a 24-hour sun visible. There's all types of edits. So they have never given footage that would determine if there actually is a 24-hour sun. So that's pretty sketchy right there. Plus, with previous attempts like this, there's been several previous attempts over the years to go to Antarctica to prove if the earth is flat or not. And each time those attempts have been dissolved and abandoned, or pretty much something happens at the last minute to where the trip never happens. So this has happened, I believe, like 2 or 3 or 4 times already in the past. So there's a chance that this happens again, where at the last minute there's probably going to be some type of paperwork that he didn't fill out correctly or something, to where they can reject his request, and have the trip canceled at the last minute. Otherwise, like I said, if they do get down there, what if they get intercepted and told what to say? And also they have to think about the safety of themselves, because what if the plane goes down suspiciously, or something like that? Or, you know, there's talks about what if it's cloudy down there. So it shouldn't be cloudy, I'm hearing, because it's not supposed to rain in Antarctica. But what if it's just super cloudy for some reason? All of a sudden they can't get the visual of the sun that they're looking for. Also, with the equipment that they're going to need, they're going to be bringing an infrared camera, a 360 camera, a drone, and some solar filters and stuff like that to make sure they have all the necessary equipment to check this out. But yeah, another thing is there's no proof that a compass even flips over to a different pole. Like, the compass always is attracted to the north, but in Antarctica, shouldn't the compass point the opposite direction? But it never does that, according to my reports. So that's already proof that there's something going on, along with the edits of the footage of the sun. So right now, like, if they go down there and it stays daylight for 24 hours, well, the whole thing about that is there's manuals already that talk about the brightness of the firmament. So just seeing daylight wouldn't be conclusive proof, because of the brightness of the firmament and how sun interacts with the atmosphere, and there's all types of things like that. Plus, I've done a extensive study on the calendars from the Enoch calendar, and so with that calendar, it talks about suns going through portals. So what about that, right? So I did a extensive study on that. I'll probably try to leave a link for that in the comment section and description box if you haven't seen that video, because the calendar system of the Enoch calendar describes how suns could go through a portal, and it sounds like there's like maybe 10 to 12 suns a year, and each sun is for each month or something, and it really maps out the days of the year and into perfection, basically, and how all that's orchestrated with the stars and the sun and the moon and everything. So yeah, it talks about portals. So is that talking about literal portals? So what if there's something like that going on with Antarctica, where maybe there's a new sun that comes out and it's not the same sun? But anyways, I guess they're trying to see if they can keep an eye on the sun the entire time without losing sight of it. I think that's what their goal is. I hope that is, because there's variables to consider with stuff like that. Plus, with what is this world really? Like, what really is this earth? This earth could be so many things as of right now, because we've been lied to. So we know it's not a globe ball spinning in outer space, but we saw like how with the Truman Show, Earth was a sound studio, basically a Hollywood studio. And then we saw with other movies like The Matrix, it was kind of like some type of simulation. So what really is Earth? The Bible talks about the earth being, created by God and everything. But we know that's the mainstream beliefs of most flat earthers. But, what about these other variables as well? So if there are some type of makers involved in this world, or if it's some type of Matrix type thing, and they don't want us to figure this out, couldn't they kind of make something in the sky to make it look like the sun's in the sky? Maybe if we get too close to the truth, the actual makers of this world could get involved. And I'm saying this outside of the normal Bible hypothesis, where this is just another brainstorm, to where if it goes beyond that and this is some type of matrix simulation or something, wouldn't they have the power to, or the leaders, kind of like how, like I said, with the Truman Show, that guy behind the scenes was kind of watching everything, and he could kind of manipulate things. So what if there's something like that, to where they can make the sun do whatever they want to make it do? Plus, they're talking about there's this technology called the sun simulator. So with that, you got to think about that as well. So yeah, with this experiment, it'd be an interesting experiment to check out and everything, but I'm not so sure. I mean, I know that the earth is flat because of long distance observations and stuff like that, not looking up in the sky. That's not really what determines if the earth is flat or not. So, with this whole experiment, I think there's room for deception still, but it will be interesting to see the results. But I don't know if I'm ready to just throw in the towel right now. If, let's say, the results come back and they say, oh, they saw the sun for 24 hours, would you just throw in the towel and say, oh, I guess it's the globe? I guess people are living upside down from us on the South Pole. That's just ridiculous. So, I mean, there's nothing really that can make me believe that people are living upside down. Like, that's just, relative to where you're standing. So that just doesn't really make sense to me. So, like I said, what about proof of the compass? Let's see how the compass will the compass point to the South Pole? The opposite on the compass. So people haven't ever proven that as well. So shouldn't we have that type of proof as well if you're going to go down there? So, anyways, yeah, let me know if you believe that this final flat Earth experiment is going to be conclusive or not, and what do you make of people like Witsit and Jeranism conceding that this will prove one way or the other? I mean, I'm just not so sure I'm willing to plus we have to believe the reports of whatever's coming back. Now let's say the reports come back that it's flat and the sun went dark, and that proves that, and the sun went away and it got dark down there when it's supposed to be a 24-hour sun. That would prove the flat Earth. Now I would accept that proof. I would accept that information, because that's what we all know anyways. That's what we've all been studying anyways, and you would expect that. So then it'd be like, okay, you guys actually got the proof that we are looking for. So then I definitely accept that information. But if they come back with some wild information like, oh, there was a 24-hour sun, I would need to see proof of it first of all, and then after that, like I said, there's all types of variables to consider. But I guess that would be we'd have to definitely see the footage for sure and see that it's unedited and from multiple sources. We couldn't just take their word for it. We'd have to see the footage. So I don't know. I guess we'll cross that bridge when that time comes, but I would like to know your thoughts in the comment section. So I'm going to leave some links, like I said, to that calendar video. I think you might find that interesting. Plus, I'll leave links to my other channels, my social media, my feature, my store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feature Mind signing off.